Well, this is like the beguiling of Eve, isn't it? Here is a serpent in front of us. Now, what's the story of the serpent?
It belongs to my mother.
Yes.
She was left it in a will about 55 years ago.
Yes.
And she wore it as a young lady.
Yes.
Went dancing in it, and it fell off. So that's why it's been left in this box.
Prince Albert gave Queen Victoria a gold serpent ring with an emerald head as his engagement ring in 1839. The gesture made serpent jewellery the defining romantic emblem of the decade that followed. Every leading London goldsmith was producing serpent rings, brooches and bracelets for aristocratic clients by 1845. The articulation visible on this bracelet, each scale individually hinged so the piece moves like a live snake, was the exclusive province of the finest workshops. The same construction appeared on high-status serpent bracelets exhibited by Hunt and Roskell at the 1851 Great Exhibition in London, where articulated serpents were among the most admired pieces in the jewellery court. Victorian serpent bracelets of this quality, with their original fitted cases, now come to auction at Christie's and Bonham's at prices between £10,000 and £30,000, depending on the complexity of the articulation and the quality of the stones.
I'm sure your mother values it enormously, and everybody else would value it enormously, and so I think it's worth £8,000 to £10,000.
Really? As much as that? Ooh, goodness. Well, that's a lot.
Well, it has beguiled us all, not just
yes.
you. Absolutely. But not with mammon, but with sentiment, and that's really marvellous. It's a sort of almost a bug that's been living too close to Sizewell B. He's gone all blue and shiny, hasn't he?
It's wonderful. I always thought it was actually bought for my grandmother.
And what date would that might have been? 1890s?
Yes,
no, that's absolutely perfect, I think. Cause
Lacloche Frères was founded in Madrid in 1892 by four brothers, Fernand, Léopold, Jules and Jacques, and within a decade had opened their main atelier on the Rue de la Paix in Paris, the same street as Cartier's flagship salon and a block from Van Cleef and Arpels. The firm's insect brooches became their signature. Where many jewellers treated the insect form as a decorative pretext for large stones, Lacloche treated it as a naturalist exercise, the wings, thorax and body of each piece studied from real specimens and reproduced in enamel and gems with anatomical precision. What survives here, the original fitted case, the maker's mark still legible inside, is exactly the kind of full provenance that commands a premium at auction. Signed Lacloche pieces with intact documentation have sold in recent decades for between £8,000 and £40,000, depending on the piece type and condition.
Well, I know that Pa had that valued at about £4,000. And that, well, we didn't even know it was real, so...
No, so that's up for grabs, isn't it? My goodness. Well, 4,000, that's a little while ago, because I think that's a very desirable thing. It's very concentrated, it's very animated, it's by a superb maker, and everybody wants this thing. Honestly, they do. And value is to do with measured want. That's all that value is. And I'm going to tell you that in measured want, that's £10,000.
God.
And measured want again here.
And this is a Rolex Oyster GMT-Master.
Yeah.
And they refer to everything by the reference number. In this case, it is the reference 1675. It's also here on the bill of sale, which I see is from a Hong Kong retailer in the early part of 1971.
Yeah.
It's obviously not bought by you, so who bought it in 1971?
Yeah, it was basically a gift to me dad. And then about 5 years ago, he passed it to me for inheritance. He's still alive, but he just thought, give it to me to see what I want to do with it. And it's been in a drawer ever since.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about the history of these things.
Okay.
The airline industry.
The reference 1675 was in production from 1959 to 1980, spanning the entire golden age of commercial aviation. By the time this example was purchased in Hong Kong in 1971, Pan American World Airways was operating jet services to 60 countries, and its pilots carried the GMT-Master as standard equipment, not as a status symbol, but as a mandatory navigation tool on long-haul cockpit rosters. Hong Kong in 1971 was the world's most active duty-free watch market. Rolex, Omega and Longines maintained dedicated showrooms for international travellers, and the prices, below London or New York retail, attracted everyone from businessmen to Royal Navy personnel on shore leave. The combination of an unpolished case, an intact signed crown, and the original bill of sale from a named retailer makes this a particularly documentable example. Exactly the attributes that drive prices at specialist watch auctions above the general Rolex market.
Wow.
But it's not got the original bracelet, so I'm going to take it back to, in this condition, around £14,000.
What? Whoa. No way.
Yeah. You happy?
Yeah. I didn't expect that at all.
You've watched hundreds of these moments. The ordinary object. The jaw-dropping value. But here's the question we never ask. What's sitting in your home? You don't have to wait for the roadshow to come to your town. In seconds, Velco tells you what it is, when it was made, and what it could be worth. It's like having the roadshow in your pocket. Open the App Store and search Velco. VELQO. Or point your phone at the screen. You might be sitting on a fortune.
Her husband was a military man and came from a military background. And she asked my father to lend her some money, which in those days was £10. And it was an awful lot of money. It was
when
like
you say those days, how long ago are we talking
60
about? 60
years.
Right, okay.
But I know that it was 2 weeks of my father's wages.
Right.
So he kept them like in lieu of this £10, and then she come over one day and just said, I can't pay you the money back, will you keep the cufflinks? And his answer was, no, they're a family heirloom, you should have them back. But she was just too proud to just have the money and not leave the cufflinks, so that was how it came in the family.
Queen Victoria's wedding on the 10th of February 1840 was attended by 12 bridesmaids. Prince Albert designed a brooch for each of them, turquoise for forget-me-not, a small sapphire for fidelity. And the Queen presented them personally at the end of the ceremony. The design survived in workshop pattern books and was adapted for subsequent royal commissions over the following decades. The cipher G with the Prince of Wales feathers identifies the most likely original owner, the future King George V, who held the title Prince of Wales from 1901 to 1910. He is the only Prince of Wales in the relevant period whose Christian name began with G. Pieces bearing an identified royal cipher belong to a very thin market with very few buyers, which pushes prices in either direction. When the right collector encounters the right piece, the result is almost always well above any published estimate.
Memorabilia. So they're not easy to value because they're a complete one-off pair. So I wouldn't be surprised if they might be as much as, £3,500.
That makes it unusual and rather special. We've got this mission logo, which is the Apollo-Soyuz mission. That was 3 American astronauts, 2 Russians meeting up in the Apollo capsule and the Soyuz capsule in space in 1975. Remember, this was the height of the Cold War, so this was an achievement to do this. And at the end of the mission, a particular distributor in Italy, a guy called Macchi, decided to order up a batch of these. Some say up to 500, others say 400. But he ordered these things and they were manufactured in 1976, so almost a year after the mission. Now, I notice you've got an original receipt here. Did you buy it yourself or not?
No, I didn't buy it. It was my brother's watch. He bought this watch unknown to us as a family. Unfortunately, he died later that year in a car crash. The watch came back with his effects. I was the only boy in the family.
On the 18th of July 1975, an American Apollo command module docked with a Soviet Soyuz above the Atlantic. The Cold War's first joint crewed space mission lasted 44 hours. The crew wore Omega Speedmasters. NASA selected the Speedmaster Professional in 1965 after subjecting every available chronograph to extreme heat, vacuum, and shock testing. The only one to pass. From Apollo 11 through the final lunar landing in 1972, every surface walk was timed on one. Italian commemorative editions like this were produced in 1976 in controlled quantities to mark the preceding year's docking. What elevates this example is the documentation. The original 1168 bracelet, the movement extract from Omega's archives, and the retailer's receipt. Each is rare in isolation. Together, they are the difference between a collector's watch and a verifiable piece of space history.
Shall I tell you?
Yeah, go on.
That's what you're here for, really, isn't it?
It would be interesting.
Right, OK. I think you're going to get a minimum of 80,000 for it.
Really?
Really. So I have a feeling that you're not going to be owning that for too much longer, are you?
No. No.
Of all the Omega Speedmasters, this is about as rare as it gets.
Wow. That's more than I expected.
And so, for your brother working in Italy...
You've watched hundreds of these moments. The ordinary object. The jaw-dropping value. But here's the question we never ask. What's sitting in your home? You don't have to wait for the roadshow to come to your town. In seconds, Velco tells you what it is, when it was made, and what it could be worth. It's like having the roadshow in your pocket. Open the App Store and search Velco. VELQO. Or point your phone at the screen. You might be sitting on a fortune.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this one, hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next. And there are plenty more incredible appraisals waiting for you on the channel. Go check them out.